Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Apologize for the delay in starting the show on time. We just sprung forward by 1 hour, so there were some issues with timing. JVC Sreeram is here to share with us his findings on how the voting patterns were in across the various states. But our focus will be, as always, on Uttar Pradesh because it sort of is the big 800-pound gorilla in the room. Sreeram, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Good morning, good day to viewers across the globe.
How are you feeling, Sreeram?
Top of the world as always.
Wonderful, wonderful. So there were a lot of WhatsApp messages giving, because this happened, that happened, and so on and so forth. I'll yield the floor to you. Maybe you can start from how you saw the patterns. One thing I'm really piqued is the stunning success of AAP in Punjab. Why can't BJP do the same thing in other states like Tamil Nadu?
See, Punjab was a ground which was probably favorable for AAP, not by design but by default. When I say that, when the prime contender decides to commit suicide, I hope you have seen this movie called Kante. It used to come in 2002.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
in the conclusion, in the climax, you will find that Amitabh Bachchan and all the other guys, I don't remember the names of all those guys, Sunil Shetty and all those guys, each one will be having a revolver in both their hands, and everyone will shoot. So same way, Rahul had 2 revolvers, Channi had 2 revolvers, Sidhu had 2 revolvers, Priyanka Gandhi had 2 revolvers, Sunil Jakar had 2 revolvers, and AAP was that guy who had that bag in his hand. Okay, it didn't belong to him, but each one shot others, and all of them committed, killed each other, and this guy stole the bag and ran away. That's the story of Punjab, and that's the story of AAP. To put it mildly, that's the story.
Understood. I think that is also called Mexican standoff, but that's all right. So please take it away. Go ahead. And I know you have a certain way to start this show. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So as far as UP is concerned, I think I should acknowledge at this point in time that if there was one pollster on the ground who probably was little short in his numbers, but at the same time, as far as vote share is concerned and reading the political temperature, this time Pradeep Bhandari of Jan ki Baat has been terrific. Okay, because Uttar Pradesh, he told me very clearly that Jatland is done and dusted. He told me in the month of December and Jan, much before even Amit Shah entered into the ground. But once Amit Shah entered into the ground, he said it's done. The phase 1 would be one of the best phases in the entire election, which turned out to be true because BJP won 50% of the votes in the vote share, I would say, in the phase 1. He also said Purvanchal is a tough one. And I didn't believe it because Purvanchal had Varanasi, Purvanchal had Gorakhpur, Purvanchal was supposed to be the showcase of development. But he kept saying that caste equations would tilt the game, and it did. Azamgarh, BJP could not do anything. Azamgarh district is one and division is another. In the division, there were losses. Then Ghazipur, it was a clean sweep by SP Alliance, driven by Om Prakash Rajbar, which meant that the Rajbar votes have migrated towards the Samajwadi Party alliance. But the Jat vote has not migrated towards the Samajwadi Party alliance. So if one were to look at this election, because I normally believe, Mr. Iyer, that you do not know the magnitude of the fight of the election before the results, neither on the day of the results, but it is only when you start analyzing post-election, you would actually know whether it was a close election or it was an easy election. Contrary to what everyone thought, Uttarakhand, which looked like an extremely close race, on post-poll analysis, it tells you that it was not such a close election as what everyone thought. On the contrary, even on the day of election, even the day after the election, because that's when you start getting data as far as a place like UP is concerned, because it's a big state, you don't get data by the evening itself. It takes around 24 hours to actually get all the data up on your fingers. That's when you realize that this is not an easy election. This was not an easy election. This was an election which was fought tooth and nail. Trust me, because let me tell you, let me just take you back, because at that point of time you didn't know me. I didn't know you. I was not regular in PGurus. So give me a minute for me to just rewind. When I went onto the field in 2021 Tamil Nadu election, I kept telling it is closer than what everyone thinks so. And when I started putting all those messages, people didn't believe. When I started sharing the videos, people said, "Oh, is it this close?" I said, "It is close." The day the results were coming, DMK alliance was sweeping. It was winning around 160 seats. People ridiculed me, saying that, "What, Sreeram, you got it completely wrong. You got it horribly wrong. It was not a close election. It was an easy election for DMK." But Sunday was the result. Monday night, people started messaging me, no, you are right. This was much closer than what everybody thought. If only AMMK did not divide those votes, and if only Chennai and Trichy were not swept by the DMK, DMK would not have got the majority, because 28 seats AMMK was standing between ADMK's victory and defeat. And if those 28 were added, and if Chennai seats which were lost at 32 seats, 32 votes at T Nagar, at Mylapore, the way the MNM was playing the role, they said it was a closer election. Yes, it was a close election. There was hardly a gap of around 4% between the DMK and the ADMK. Now, same way, let me tell you, you may think that I'm exaggerating. I'm not. This was a very close election, and you need to give it to the BJP party missionary, for turning an photo finish into a 2/3 majority. That speaks volumes of the kind of electioneering which these guys have done. And I will tell you, the first winner to me, the big winner, is the duo of Amit Shah and Sunil Bansal. Why? You're also a cricket fan, so let me quote the cricket analogy. Do you remember post that November 26th attack in Mumbai?
Yes.
There was a test match which was played out in Chennai.
Yes.
And India was set a target of 376 or something of that kind, which was a tough target.
Okay, that was the kind of great start.
You got it, Mr. Iyer. You got a great memory. You got elephant's memory. Okay. Now, you know pretty well that 350 odd is not easy to chase. But what did Sehwag do? He converted that 350 odd into a 250 odd by playing that swashbuckling innings on the afternoon of Sunday.
Yes.
The match was, the 5th day was on the Monday. On the 4th day evening, he just smashed all around the park. Yeah, Yuvraj Tendulkar finished, Amaya, but it was the start given by Viru.
Yes.
I'm not a great fan of Viru, but I'm saying in that game, Viru just took it out of the England's reach. And then the final rites were performed by Yuvraj and Tendulkar. Now, same way, phase 1, Amit Bhai came along with Sunil Bansal, gave a swashbuckling start that any other result was not possible. He just took it away. He took the election out of it. Because what happened? Because they won almost 48 seats out of 54 or something. I don't exactly remember the number here in phase 1.
Put up the numbers. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you put up the sheets? Yeah, go ahead.
No, not this. The phase 1. The phase 1.
Phase 1.
The phases of phases. The phases. The phases wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get it up. Go ahead. Yeah.
So what happened was that paved the way. Even a setback like a phase 7, even a partial setback like a phase 5 did not matter much, basically because the phase 1 was a terrific start. I remember, if I'm right, it was 1988 Wimbledon, Ivan Lendl and Boris Becker. It was a well fought, tough match, but set one would be pocketed by this guy, Boris Becker, so easily that the fifth setter, he just steamrolled Ivan Lendl. Even though second, third, and fourth, Ivan Lendl would give a tough fight to Boris Becker. In fact, Ivan Lendl won more points than Boris Becker in that particular game. I still remember the final of the Wimbledon. Now something similar happened. You look at it, phase 2, there was a problem.
Yeah.
You look at the phase 3 was okay. Phase 7, if you put it, it will be even bigger problem. Yes. Phase 7, there was a setback, big setback, if you see here. Okay. But in the end, what happened? Nothing. It was a safe, done deal. So that's why I would say that the first man of the match of phase 1 was Amit Shah and Sunil Bansal. Gave a tantalizing start from where BJP cannot win, from where the Samajwadi Party could have never won. Sorry, BJP could never lose and Samajwadi Party could have never won. So that's my first take on the UP election. It was a much tougher election than what anybody else thought.
Sreeram, a couple of observations that jump out. See, there was always a claim that, caste plays a very big role. Did religion also play a very big role? And if so, what are the takeaways from that?
Okay. See, let me look at this election dynamics and let me read this election dynamics for you. Samajwadi Party put up its best performance ever, but its best performance ever turned out to be not enough to win the game. What was their plan? What was their strategy? Strategy was very simple. Make it into a Muslim election first. Pocket the entire Muslim votes into your side. That was the plan A. Plan B, Yadav votes automatically come towards the Samajwadi Party. So if I look at it, if I get 85% of 29%, 85% of 29%.
25%
now,
or so, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens? I'm starting the game in a nice manner. Okay. That was my strategy 1. Strategy 2. Now, having turned it into a polarizing election, I go to RLD, form an alliance with them. Jat vote, farmer protest, sugarcane, potato, bring out all those things and bring that 2%, 60 to 70% of the 2% into my pocket. Now I build a sizable proposition of votes. Next, I go to other castes. I form an alliance with Rajbar. I get Rajbar votes and it has yielded. I will tell you how and why it got yielded as we go along. Now then I will get some few Kurmi party, Apna Dalka faction and all those I put together. I get a few Mauryas and Kurmis and Sainis from BJP to here. Now I think I've covered all the bases so that I can put up a good performance which can take me past 200. That's the logic of Akhilesh Yadav. Now, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You would agree with me on that?
Yes, yes.
Now, who turned this election into a religious polarization? Was it BJP or SP? Who took the first step? SP.
Yeah.
Got it right. So, it was SP which turned it into a religious polarization. Now, why on earth Jat should court with Samajwadi Party? Just because RLD is there? Haven't they forgotten the Muslim Jat riots in Muzaffarnagar in 2012-13? Now, why would they? Now, they go out and then Modi comes and says, now decode it. Modi comes and says, the opposition is trying to divide us based on caste. Let's not divide based on caste. Let's unite as a development-oriented government and double-engine growth. And then Hindutva card is played by Yogi Adityanath, in a very subtle way. Now, so Jat votes, if I'm right, around 58% moves towards Bharatiya Janata Party, which no one imagined. Maximum was Pradeep Gupta of Axis, who said 48%, but it has crossed even 48%. It has gone. They lose 24% of Jat votes compared to 2017. Who loses it? Samajwadi Party. Okay. So as a result of which, what happens is that BJP is able to build a proper social coalition, and SP has not built a proper social coalition. They have made it into a caste and religious election as against BJP's social coalition. Because I will tell you another thing. Now Mayawati is complaining. What is her complaint? Our complaint is SP's narrative was, if you vote for BSP, Muslims, if you're going to vote for BSP, then BJP will come to power. So Muslims who voted for BSP should vote for SP. And Muslims did fall for that narrative. Counterpolarization happens the other side. The Hindus who stood by BSP decided not to vote for BSP, instead went and casted their vote for BJP so that they can stop SP from coming to power. Result, BSP lost votes from both the sides and got reduced to one seat. Now, that's how you read the election. And whatever I'm saying, it's all on record. BJP has gained non-Jatav Dalit vote. BJP has gained Jatav vote. SP has not gained as much as BJP has gained. And BSP has lost proportionately Jatav and non-Jatav SC vote, which has gone to BJP. BSP has lost Muslim votes, and those Muslim votes have moved towards SP. This is what has happened. Now I know you will come and ask me the next question. I preempt your question and I would like to answer. Or if you want to ask me, you can ask.
No. Go ahead. You are reading my mind today.
Then you will ask me one question. What was the role of Owaisi? Now, I am not in favor of Owaisi, nor am I against. But let me put what is Owaisi's narrative. Let's understand each one's narrative. I've given you the narrative because Mayawati did not have a narrative. Samajwadi Party, this is a narrative. Narendra Modi, Yogi, this was the narrative. Now let me read. Owaisi's narrative is, hey, 60% of your vote, entire vote, is from my community. What have you done for my community? Are you entitled to take my vote and you become a CM and do nothing for my community? I can't see anything wrong with this narrative. And I don't think any social group, you can't claim ownership of any social group, any political party. Brahmins have voted for SP. Vaishyas have voted for SP. Lodhs have voted for SP. SCs have voted for SP. Jatavs have voted for SP. When they can vote for SP, Muslims can also vote for BJP and Muslims can also vote for MIM. Am I right, Mr. Iyer, or not?
Yes.
Now, I see some noises coming up in the media saying, MIM, you blew the chances of SP. Come on, why did you do it? Now, he said, I'm doing it. And that's how I'm going to grow. And it is only in 7 seats where the MIM's votes were higher than the margin between SP and BJP. Now, you can do whatever permutations and combinations, Mr. Iyer. It doesn't matter. At the end of it, BJP could not have been defeated in this election. If there was complacency on the part of BJP's even election managers, it would have come to 210, 220. If there was even further gutso, they could have gone beyond 300. They had done enough to convert a tough election into a 2/3 election. Hats off.
Let me ask you a question, Sreeram. What is it that Muslims have against Yogi Adityanath in particular and BJP in general?
See, I don't know
He gave
what they're
range to everybody. He didn't discriminate. He applied law equally to everyone.
See, when you say applied law equally to everyone, I want to share here. I want to share here something which I think everyone should know. It was told in the national media by a pollster. He said when he spoke to a senior police officer in Uttar Pradesh, that senior police officer said if they had arrested a person or a don or a mafia person belonging to a particular community or religion, the next minute there will be a call from an MLA saying that demanding the release of that particular individual. Now, that did not happen in Yogi government. So obviously, those who want to break the law and order, they were comfortable dealing with the SP. And some of them on the other side, the same thing. Okay. Number two, I still think some of the Muslims hold a grudge towards BJP still for the Babri Masjid. Whether it is right or not, I'm nobody to comment on it. It is their wish and it is their privilege. So they still hold BJP responsible for the demolition of Babri Masjid. Yes, they were responsible for demolition of Babri Masjid. But whoever was responsible for the demolition of Ram Mandir long before, I don't want to get into the historical things here. So, but there were rations given to Muslims. There were houses built for Muslims. Electricity were given to Muslims. Vaccines were given free of cost to Muslims. Your law and order for safety of women, as much as an Hindu woman is safe, a Muslim woman is also safe. And I hope better sense prevails in future and people vote for better governance and law and order and not based on religion.
All right, and let's take a quick look at the minority-dominated districts in UP. This is a chart that I put up, Sreeram. You can take a look at it. So we are just looking at the BJP performance, and if you look at it, I mean, I am seeing that, you know, Rampur, for example, is 50.6% Muslim population. BJP still managed to win 2 seats. How do you account for that? I mean,
in 2017, you're showing me 2017 numbers.
Okay. Sorry. Next one, please.
Next one will be 22. Yeah, 22 numbers.
Yeah.
No, that's what. See. As far as when you say 50.6% is in that particular district, so in that particular seat you may not have 50%. You may have listed lesser. In fact, Rampur has more than 54. The data which I put across was probably 50.6 is the conservative estimate. It should be 54, 55. If you look at it, what I would like to say is BJP had won 50 seats in minority-dominated districts in 2017, while it has won only 34 seats in 2022.
So they have.
If you look at SP,
ground.
they have lost some ground. But if you look at it, SP has gained ground from 16 they've gained 32. But if you look at it overall, even here, who gets the majority? The majority for 66 is 34. So that explains to you.
My concern here, Sreeram, is India is experiencing an asymmetric growth of population along religious lines. How much of a concern is that for BJP moving forward? Is every election going to be harder?
See, every election is going to be harder. In fact, I think Prashant Kishore himself has said that when a Muslim population touches such a limit, then it becomes difficult for BJP to win. And I think what he is speaking is from the data, and you may not like his strategy or narrative or ideology, but I think his data will be right on the gun. So there will be a concern. It's not a worrying factor, it is a concerning factor now. We have seen in the city where I live also, you have lived in the same city and you know pretty well, in a small scooter, there will be 7 people traveling.
Yes.
You have seen that and I still keep seeing it. So it is a concern. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
Now, how does one win the hearts of the religious minorities? I know BJP has succeeded in doing that with another religious minority. What about this one? What steps do we have to do? I believe that the BJP government, whether at center or at state, has actually done better than their own preferred parties.
200% yes, Mr. Iyer. But the point is, sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas. It has to be translated into the ground. I see the communication which happens from the top, from Modi. I think it doesn't happen at the lower level. I just came out of a particular TV show where I said, if Hindutva is not practiced in India, where else do you expect it to be practiced? If Ram Mandir is not built in Ayodhya, I can't build it in Mecca or Medina. If Mathura does not have a Krishna Janmabhoomi, you can't have it in Jerusalem. And if a prime minister of the country who is a practicing Hindu applies vibhuti or sandanam in his forehead, what is wrong in it? So, at the same time, the rabid Hindutva communication should stop. That's what I feel. Because Hinduism in this soil has always felt that Prophet Muhammad is another guru. Jesus Christ is another guru. Buddhism was born here. Jainism was born here. Sikhism was born here. India had the hearts to let those people in, Christians or Muslims, and they converted. Now the point is that an Hindu should be proud to say, I am an Hindu. He should be proud to practice his rituals. At the same time, in fact, I would want to quote something from Mr. Bandi Sanjay, whom I was listening to, who happens to be the president of BJP's Telangana unit. He said, I'm not asking you to put tilak on your head. At the same time, don't ask me to wear the cap on my head. I am not asking you to come to my temple, but I don't want you to come and interrupt or disrupt my temple. I will let you do a namaz 5 times on a Friday, no problem at all. Okay, but let me practice my Hinduism. This practical religious faith must be practiced on the ground, and there should not be any rabid element. And this sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas must go down the ground to the last man. And more importantly, as much as Sri Narendra Modi has gone to a Kashi or a Kedarnath or a Mathura, he has also visited Sufi mosque. I think you must have seen those photographs also. He has met the Pope. He had gone to the churches. But in the name of appeasing any religion, in fact, I saw a video today of Yogi going to a masjid where somebody gives him a skull cap and he says no, but he respects there. Now, this is a message which needs to go. You practice your faith, allow me to practice my faith. And irrespective of your religion, caste, creed, social status, economic status, development will reach every one of Indian. That message needs to go in.
Well, this is something that I think members of the religious communities should bear in mind. You look at some of the regional leaderships across different states. There is an open bias against Hindus. I'm talking in particular about Tamil Nadu, from where I am from, and so is JVC Sreeram. And we are disgusted at the open appeasement and looking the other way when some people commit atrocities. Look at what happened to Lavanya. Suddenly, everything has gone quiet. I would have expected arrests by now. That lady comes out and an MLA who happens to be from the same religion as that lady is welcoming her, garlanding her. For God's sake, law is the same for everyone. What kind of message are you giving to the minorities? When the MLA comes and garlands somebody who is a suspect, who has had a hand in killing a girl, a very smart girl, a very bright girl, deliberately denying her from studying, what kind of a message are you giving? Why is it that the community itself is not coming up and saying, look, this is not on? What is the problem with this, Sreeram? I'm really concerned about this because everybody is a human being first. What is it that people don't get? That first, you are a human being. Then you are an Indian. Then you are a Tamil-speaking Indian. Then you are professing this religion. This order has been there for thousands of years. What is the problem now? What do you feel has to be done? Because unless the minds are changed, you'll always have this problem moving forward.
See, Mr. Iyer, action needs to be taken by whomsoever it is. I hear a pastor or a priest saying that I am praying for BJP to lose these 4 state elections. Okay, Yogi has become the CM now. He will become a nuisance and headache for PM, and he is the one who is going to remove Modi. No, this cannot be spoken in a church by a pastor. So this is the level to which you have gone. You have stooped down. This needs to be stopped. Action needs to be taken. In fact, I should tell you, Mr. Iyer, that I was on a television channel. For 47 minutes, I was just listening. I'm not an hardcore Hindutva. I'm an Hindutva person. I'm a practicing Hindu. But when I listened to those 45 minutes of some of the people, I kept my mouth shut. You must have seen that video. I'd sent you that.
Yes, News
video.
7. That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So I shut my mouth, kept quiet, and I let the anchor and everybody speak about it. How BJP is a dangerous party for India. How BJP is dangerous for Uttar Pradesh. How BJP should never enter into Tamil Nadu. But I said, you have made me an Hindutva person now. Because if this is the language you are going to speak, then I don't have any other language other than what I'm going to speak now, and you better listen to me. But coming back, because we are seriously discussing about the 4 state elections, I feel that BJP has made tremendous inroads into the Yadav heartland. The reason why I say it was last election in 2017, in the heartland of Yadavs, which is basically Mainpuri, that's the heartland. That's the parliamentary constituency represented by none other than Mulayam Singh Yadav. BJP won just 1 out of the 4 seats. And that was also the narrative was Shivpal Yadav's candidate split Yadav was, as a result of which BJP won. Right? This election, BJP has won 2 seats, retaining the one which they held in 2017. So, Bongan, they had retained. Manipuri, which is basic nerve center of the Yadav heartland. BJP.
I think it's Mainpuri, right? Not Manipuri.
Yeah, Mainpuri. It should read as Mainpuri. And Karhal is where Akhilesh Yadav stood, which means the BJP could just go near, because those days you would say, no, if Amethi is won by Congress family, Parivar family, the seats around Amethi will be pocketed.
Yes.
If Raebareli is won, the seats around that is pocketed. That's the normal theory which people speak about. Okay.
Right.
Now, when a big leader stands, around that is you firewalled it. But now you see that if you go to the next slide, yes, Akhilesh Yadav in Karhal, and neighboring 2 seats BJP has pocketed, JVC Singh and Ram Naresh Agnihotri. Now, this speaks volume about what has happened as far as polarization is concerned. That's the reason you will find more Yadavs have voted for BJP in 2022 compared to 2017. But 2019, they voted more. 24% voted. And they expect 2024 more Yadavs voting for BJP than even SP.
I know you have a time constraint. We have 5 minutes left. Let's quickly walk through your predictions and the actual results. Can you put up the other chart, please? We're starting with Uttar Pradesh numbers. Here we go. We want to really thank Jan Ki Baat, Pradeep Bhandari, and JVC Sreeram for being so close to being right. I mean,
Mr. Iyer, my prediction was not 222 to 260. My prediction was 275.
Yes, you said that, but this was what he had put up. I just want to say, hey, listen, even that is very, very close, my friend. Below, the last line is what the actual numbers are. You see that? Yes. So I just want you to talk to this slide, because clearly BSP is a big loser. Congress is gone. Yeah. But at the same time, I worry for the country as a whole. How long is this religion-based politics is going to be run when you actually need development? Next elections will be 1.5 billion Indians.
Yeah. So for this particular thing, I think Pradeep Bhandari deserves a round of applause for the kind of vote share he had predicted, because he's been bullseye. He has hit the bullseye. And numbers, he was a little conservative. He said, I don't want to go wrong. While other polls like, India Today went on the higher side, He was on the 260. I was on 275, and India Today was at 270, 288. If you actually put across 258 and 288, it comes to 273, and that's what is the numbers which have come out. And even SP, he had been a little bit ambitious, and it has gone down a little bit. BSP, nobody expected it to go as bad as what it had gone, but even 4 years printed on the lower side was, I felt, it was very low. Congress was 1 to 3, bullseye. In fact, Congress tends to keep us, happy, because whatever we predict about Congress, it comes true. Congress has just got 2 seats. Okay. 1 to
Next
3,
state.
we said
Yeah.
2, yeah.
Next state, please.
Uttarakhand,
You
I
were
think all of
spot
us
on
got
this
wrong.
one.
Yeah,
You said 45, I think, right?
Yeah. It can go up to 45. It went to 40. See, because Uttarakhand is a story for everybody. Why I say it is a story for everybody? Women voters outnumbered men in Uttarakhand. If you remember, even in our post-exit poll discussion, pre-result discussion, I said women have voted very strongly, 5% gap, and that's what has propelled. It was a difficult election. That's what everybody thought. But in the end, it became comfortable because women outnumbered men. Here again, the vote share has been bullseye as far as BJP is concerned. So BSP has won 2 seats compared to the 0 to 1 which we had given. Uttarakhand is big news. People have trusted Modi. People have trusted BJP. And I always say in Uttarakhand one thing, Mr. Iyer. You may have as much anger against BJP local guys, but when they see the lotus in Uttarakhand in the polling station, they can't press any other symbol other than lotus.
Next state, please. Manipur. This was expected
Manipur,
and they did well,
exactly,
but better than expected.
Better than expected. In fact, I was bullish on 30 plus, and Manipur, it was 23 to 28. Congress meltdown at 5, NPP at 7, and a lot of people who have won in NPP, Janata Dal United, others, they're all being denied seats in BJP. So you need to keep in mind that it is BJP which denied seats to many people who have gone and stood in other party symbols and have won. Manipur is a great story, great victory for development. People have reposed the faith. To me, in Manipur, people have expressed gratitude to Modi and the NDA government for having developed the state from economic blockade to what it is today.
And I must add here that if you look at the population demographic of Manipur, it is 43% Christian, 9% Muslim. So, and the remaining is not Hindu. There are lots of people who, it's a spread of many other people. I mean, they're not all practicing Hindus. There are many people who are more like, they are tribes, they have their own gods. We can't really say that, it is just, they're all Hindus also. So I would like this template to be taken and put across the complete country so that people say, this person, this party has done good by me. This has done good for me. Therefore, I shall support that party, because it also makes people move away from this, this arithmetic of caste-based politics.
Exactly. And only people who have not got any benefit in their life, when they get benefits and genuine benefit, when they see a 0 to 1 transformation, which is infinity, that's when they transcend caste, creed, religion, and all other barriers. And that's an example of Manipur.
Next, please, Punjab.
Oh, this was big. This was big. In fact, I didn't expect this. AAP has come. I don't have anything to say against them. Even during the exit poll, after the exit poll, I did mention it. If we have to buy the UP exit poll, then you have to buy Punjab exit poll. I only wish all the best, my best wishes. I hope AAP is able to deliver, because Punjab is a border state and you need development, you need safety and security, and I hope it happens. And they've promised a lot. And I hope those promises will be met. And Jan Ki Baat. In fact, I should say Pradeep Bhandari is the first person to have said that Punjab will see AAP as early as November. And in January, he said a monstrous majority is coming. And that's what has come.
So across the board in Punjab, who came consistently in number 2 position? Just curious.
See, I think, it doesn't matter, Mr. Iyer. Even I did not have a look at it. So, to be honest with you, I think Congress in some places Akali Dal, some places even BJP would have come second. It was more about the popularity of the candidate. Other than AAP, it was who is the person that mattered more than anything else. That's why Channi lost, Sidhu lost, Amrinder lost, Badal lost. This was the closest you can think of. Goa, this was the closest. Even Congress did not, even BJP did not expect this coming. Everybody thought something else is going to happen. We said TMC is not going to win. TMC did not win. BJP got 20 seats, Congress 12 seats, AAP 2 seats, and others. It was a fabulous performance again at Goa.
Now, let me ask you this question. I think you mentioned that either AAP or TMC took a specific community in Goa and they said, we are going to put members of this community. I think it was Bhandaris. I don't remember which.
AAP,
right?
and Bhandaris, yeah.
So for all their secularism, AAP also resorts to playing the same brand of politics.
Absolutely. AAP will use its MLA Amanullah Khan to protest against CAA and farmers' protest, and Arvind Kejriwal will go and sing Hanuman Chalisa. He will go into the Muslim streets and sing a different tune. He will go to Punjabi streets in Delhi and sing Khalistan, and he will come to Hindu streets and sing Hanuman Chalisa. Jai Sreeram is communal, Jai Hanuman is secular, and that is what is Arvind Kejriwal.
You know, so what you're saying is, depending on the audience he's addressing, he can be Anwar Khan or Anthony Gonsalves with a K or Arvind Kejriwal. Thank you very much. I just find it ridiculous that somebody who professes to having a degree from IIT Kharagpur and resorts to this kind of base politics. Unfortunately, AAP's gain is Congress's loss, and I'm just seeing that now they are beginning to rear their head in many states. And I was wrong about the rise and fall of AAP. Now I'll have to write a new book, Rise, Fall, and Re-Rise of AAP. We'll see. I'll wait for a couple of years because I'm sure the voter of India is far wiser than what these numbers show. But Sreeram, thank you so much. I know you have another show to go to. And viewers, what I would like all of us to reflect upon is this is not the way a country of that population should think. In fact, you have to understand, develop critical thinking methods. And we haven't even looked at the local body elections that took place in Tamil Nadu, which is also something that is of concern to me. But we will do that when we have some time. JVC, if you have the data, we can go back and do that as a next hangout, because there they showed how you can steal an election that was a lot closer than what it was. It was brazenly, blatantly stolen, which is why the need for one nation, one poll becomes paramount. I'm of the view that that is a much needed thing. Anyway, we'll talk about that next time. Thank you very much, JVC. And as always, a pleasure having you on our platform, my friend. And now you know you are a person that's known throughout the world. And I mark my words, next time you take a foreign trip, see how many people recognize you. Thank you very much. And they'll say, I saw you on PGurus. So thank you so much. I'm not bragging here. I'm just saying that we have a certain loyal audience who listens to us and says that, yes, what you're saying is the truth. Truth is our compass. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar. My pleasure to come on PGurus. Thank you.